Can you say this in French? I just arrived by car. You have 3 seconds. I just arrived by car. Actually, I will show you that this is a very simple sentence that you can make in French. And if you froze, it's not because you don't know enough French. It's because every app you have tried trained you to recognize French, not to produce French. So by the end of this video, you will build I just arrived by car yourself, step by step. And you will understand how you should learn to speak French. But there is one rule before we start. Say every sentence out loud. Don't just watch. You're not going to tap buttons here. You're going to speak. That's the whole point. Apps train your fingers. This trains your voice. And if you like this kind of active training, you can also join my free masterclass. That gives you the building blocks of spoken French. But now, let's build some French. So let's start with the verb for to come. To come in French is venir. That relates to a venue in English. That can be a way to remember venir. Venir is the infinitive. So in this video, we're not going to use venir directly. We're going to conjugate venir, to come. And to conjugate to come with most pronouns in the present tense, you just say viens. Viens. So in this video, we're going to say viens, just to conjugate the verb for to come. So now, can you say I come? Just that. Just say in French out loud, I come. Je viens. So that's very easy, but it's really important that you make the sentences out loud, even now when it's very easy. That's how the method works, and that's how you'll be able to make complex sentences in French. So now quickly, can you say he comes? Just that, just he comes. Il vient. So still the sound vient. Even if it spells a bit differently, here it's a spoken French lesson, so we focus on the sounds, and it's always the same sound. Vient. Il vient. So then, let's pick a French city. The city of Lyon. So Lyon, and we bind the I sound and the on, which makes Ion. Lyon. And then let's say from Lyon. So how to say from in French? From in French is de. So de is a very common French word. That can mean very different things. And among others, de means from. So when you want to say from in French, you say de. So can you say from Lyon? Just that, just from Lyon. De Lyon. So here again, that's very easy. De Lyon. But then, can you say, I come from Lyon? So just combine what we saw. There is no trap. It's the same words order in English and in French. So can you say in French, I come from Lyon? Je viens de Lyon. And that's it. That's very logical. Just I come, je viens, and then from Lyon. De Lyon. Je viens de Lyon. Now can you say she comes from Lyon? So same principle, same words order. So just say in French out loud, she comes from Lyon. Elle vient de Lyon. And that's it. Elle vient de Lyon. So this sentence is very important. That's the basis. To say then, I just arrived by car, for instance. So now, let's say another verb. Let's say the verb for to leave. To leave in French is partir. That relates to a departure. Partir. So that's the infinitive, and we need the infinitive now. Because we're going to say, I just left. So in French, if you want to say, I just left, you need to say literally, I come from, and then the verb in the infinitive, so to leave. I come from, to leave. That's a bit weird, but that's the way it is to say, I just left. You don't say just in French. You say come from. And once you know that, you know how to say I just left. So I come from, and then the verb in the infinitive, not in the past. So how do you think you should say I just left in French? So really think of what you have to say and try to say in French, I just left. Je viens de partir. And that's it. That means I just left. So you say I come from, that you know now, je viens de, and then the verb in the infinitive, to leave. So partir. So you see, in French, there's no verb in the past that you conjugate in the past. You say I come from, so in the present, and then the infinitive, partir, to leave. But that means I just left. But that's the recent past. Something that happened maybe 2 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago. So in this case, in French, to say the I just, you say I come from, and then the verb in the infinitive. So in French, je viens de partir. Now let's say another one. Let's say he just left. Can you say he just left? With the same logic. So really think slowly of what you have to say and say in French, he just left. Il vient de partir. So to say he just left, you say he comes from, to leave. And that means in French, he just left. Il vient de partir. You replace the just by come from. Il vient de partir. And then let's say we just left. So here again, it's a lesson of spoken French. So in spoken French, to say oui, we say on, which is a nasal sound. It's a bit like a O, but then we add an N. We don't pronounce the N, but the N turns the sound of the O into a more nasal sound. So we say on. And with on, you conjugate verbs like with he and she. So now you're going to say we just left. So again, don't rush. Think slowly. That's the same logic as before. So you can say in French, we just left. On vient de partir. So same logic. To say we just, for the recent past, we say we come from, and then the verb in the infinitive. So partir. On vient de partir. And you still say vient, because with on, you conjugate the verb as with he and she. So, on vient de partir. And you see that you just said, we just left in French. 3 minutes ago, this kind of sentence made you freeze because your brain was trying to translate word for word. Now you built it yourself by thinking in French, not by directly translating it. And that's the practice that apps never gave you. And this is just the foundation. In a few minutes, you will build I just arrived by car the same way. So if you want more of this, I have a free 4-hour masterclass with much more of this. There is the link in the description after the video, but we are not done yet. Let's push a bit further. So right now, just forget about I just left. Let's say something else. Let's say by car. So how to say a car in French? A car is une voiture. So with OI, that sounds wa. A bit like the English what. So here, voiture. Une voiture. And then to say by car, for instance, or by train or by plane, by plus transportation, this by specifically is en. There are several ways to say by in French. But to say by when you mean by and then a transport, that by is en. Not on, but en. So can you say by car? Just that, just by car. En voiture. En voiture. And then let's say, I come by car. So not I just and something, just I come by car. Can you say that? Just I come by car. Je viens en voiture. And that's it. So I come is je viens. That we also use in I just left, for instance. But here we want to say the regular I come, so that's je viens. And then by car, en voiture. Je viens en voiture. And then let's say she comes by car. So same principle, there is no trap. How do you say she comes by car? Elle vient en voiture. So same principle, same words order. She comes by car. Elle vient en voiture. And now, can you say, she just left? So really think of what we said before, focus on the idea that you mean, and just say in French, she just left. Elle vient de partir. So the just for the recent past in French is come from. So she just left is she comes from and then to leave. So elle vient de partir. Now can you say she just left by car? So let's combine what we saw before. You know how to say she just left. You know how to say by car. But be careful here, it's a longer sentence. So what's really important when you say a long sentence in French is to focus idea by idea, block by block. So first, focus on she just left. And then focus on by car. And think slowly first. That's the most important. You need to understand what you need to say. So let's say block by block. She just left by car. Elle vient de partir en voiture. And that's it. That's very logical. So first, she just left. So she comes from to leave. Elle vient de partir. And then by car, en voiture. Elle vient de partir en voiture. And then can you say, I just left by car? So same principle, it's a long sentence, it's a bit complex, so don't rush, but truly focus on one block at a time, one idea at a time. So I just left by car. How do you say in French? I just left by car. Je viens de partir en voiture. And that's it. I think now that you get it. I come from and then to leave and then by car en voiture. Je viens de partir en voiture. And now let's go a bit further. Let's say the verb for to arrive. How do you say to arrive in French? To arrive is arriver. Arriver. So that's transparent. It's almost the same word in English and in French. And in French, it's an ER verb. Arriver. So that's the infinitive. Arriver. So now let's say, he just arrived. So here again, don't rush, really think of what you have to say and say in French. He just arrived. Il vient d'arriver. So here there's a little subtlety. The logic is the same. You still say he comes from and then the verb in the infinitive. So, il vient de for he comes from, or the he just with the recent past. Il vient de, but then you have the verb arriver that starts with a vowel. So when you have a little word like de that sounds e, when just after there is a vowel, a word that starts with a vowel, that de turns into the apostrophe. And you say d'arriver. Il vient d'arriver. That's the little subtlety that we have with words that start with a vowel. You can let me know in the comments if you got the D apostrophe. So, il vient d'arriver. And now can you say, I just arrived? So with the same logic. Now there is no trap. You know everything you need to say, I just arrived. So how do you say in French, I just arrived? Je viens d'arriver. So still, I come from, but then you need the D apostrophe. Because just after, you have arriver that starts with a vowel. So, je viens d'arriver. And now can you say, I just arrived by car. So again, it's a bit complex, it's a bit longer, but you know everything you need. You just need to think block by block, slowly, idea by idea. So how do you say in French? I just arrived by car. Je viens d'arriver en voiture. And that's it. So actually it's very logical. I come from, then to arrive, and then the by car with the by that is en for by plus transportation. So, je viens d'arriver en voiture. And then, can you say, I just arrived by car from Lyon? So it's a bit longer, but again, you know everything you need. So it's really important that you don't rush and that you focus on each idea. One idea at a time, and don't skip any idea. So I just arrived by car from Lyon. How do you say that? I just arrived by car from Lyon. Je viens d'arriver en voiture de Lyon. And that's it. I come from and then arriver. So je viens d'arriver. Don't forget the D apostrophe. When directly after you have a vowel, d'arriver. Je viens d'arriver. Then by car, en voiture. And then from Lyon. So again, you have that from, that is de. By default, it's de. Then you have Lyon, that starts with the consonant this time, an L. So you really keep the de. De Lyon. Je viens d'arriver en voiture de Lyon. And you see, in English, you could say, I just arrived by car from Lyon, or I just arrived from Lyon by car. So first you need to say, I just arrived. Je viens d'arriver. And then you can say by car and then from Lyon, or from Lyon and then by car. And in French, that's the same. Once you said, je viens d'arriver, then the order doesn't really matter. Both are correct. So here, let's say, je viens d'arriver en voiture de Lyon. But you see, 10 minutes ago, you couldn't even say I just arrived in French. And now you just built I just arrived by car from Lyon. So a complex sentence with 3 different grammar points. And you are not translating directly from English. You thought in French and it came out. And that's what apps can teach you. Build French sentences in real time. So if this was helpful, I have a free 4-hour masterclass that covers the building blocks you need for real French conversation. It's the same method, a guided speaking, to build sentences step by step, like we did, plus speed trainings to make it automatic. It's really a complete system designed to make you speak French, not just random lessons. The link is in the description, and keep in mind that all the time you keep spending on apps is wasted time, while you are not learning to speak French. So I see you in the masterclass.